Corporate governance refers to the set of guidelines, customs, and procedures that regulate and control a business. Corporate governance describes the methods used to regulate businesses and their goals. It indicates who is in charge, who is responsible, and who makes choices. Depending on the writer's objectives, corporate governance is defined, described, or characterized in a variety of ways. Writers who are interested in a certain discipline or area frequently utilize limited definitions that seem purpose-specific. When we say elements of corporate governance, this includes the risk management, transparency, shareholder, audit committees, independence, ethics, confidentiality, corporate citizenship, audit, management, fairness, efficiency, strategic planning, diversity, accountability, compliance, responsibility, equity and inclusiveness, internal control, independent director, and organization. While there can be as many principles as a company believes make sense, some of the more well-known include the following: fairness, transparency, risk management, responsibility, and accountability. Concept of corporate governance. Corporate governance refers to the set of guidelines, customs, and procedures that regulate and control a business. Corporate governance describes the methods used to regulate businesses and their goals. It indicates who is in charge, who is responsible, and who makes the choices. A corporate governance policy puts procedures and policies in place to keep the company on track and operating efficiently. A good corporate governance policy should address financial management, conflicts of interest, hiring practices, and roles of board members. Corporate governance refers to the principles that guide action, whereas corporate compliance refers to the set of practical actions that must be taken in order to participate in the business environment. Through procedures, regulations, and practices, corporate governance promotes sound decision-making. Additionally, it offers the first line of defense against any accusations of negligence or breach of corporation obligations. It can cover a wide range of duties, and every organization has a different system of governance. Corporate governance is based on three pillars. First is the security, accountability, and openness. In order to effectively manage a business and establish strong working relationships with all of its stakeholders, including board members, managers, workers, and most significantly, shareholders, all three are essential. So when we say corporate governance, the structure through which businesses are led and governed, as well as for what reason, is known as corporate governance. It shows who is in charge, who is responsible, and who make choices. In essence, it equips the board and management with the resources they need to govern the business more skillfully. Next is we have the theory of agency. When we say theory of agency, although Adam Smith observed an agency problem, which is managerial carelessness and profusion, in the joint stock firm, agency cost theory has had a significant impact on recent thinking in strategic management and corporate policy. Agency costs serve as the essential theoretical underpinning of corporate governance. owners, and principals of any joint stock limited liability firm are its shareholders. Next is the stewardship theory. A framework known as stewardship theory contends that people are inherently driven to work for other people or organizations in order to carry out the duties and obligations that have been assigned to them. It makes the case that individuals are more communally minded and pro-organizational than individualistic, and as a result, they seek to achieve organizational, group, or societal goals because doing so makes them feel happier. Therefore, stewardship theory offers one paradigm for describing the drivers for management action in diverse organizational structures. And last, we have the stakeholder theory. Stakeholder theory is a view of capitalism that stresses the interconnected relationships between a business and its customers, suppliers, employees, investors, communities, and others who have a stake in the organization. The theory argues that a firm should create a value for all stakeholders, not just shareholders. Social problems in corporate governance. Corporate governance is the term used to describe the balance among participants in the corporate structure who have an interest in the way in which the corporation is run, such as executive staff, shareholders, and members of the community. So corporate governance directly impacts the profits and reputation of the company, and having poor policies can expose the company to lawsuits, fines, reputational damage, and loss of capital investment. So we have here the 5 common pitfalls a corporate governance policies should avoid. First is we have the conflicts of interest. Second is the oversight issues. Third is the accountability issues. Fourth is the transparency. And the last one, we have the ethics violations. I hope you gain more knowledge about what is the corporate governance. I am Carrie Ann M. Iskandor from FMGT2A.